Hi, I'm Harold Bell, and this is the legends of Inside Sports and the way we were. On today's show, we're going to take, we're going to dedicate this to the kids who died, and to the kids who are marching, and to the brothers who ain't here. 2018 marks several 50-year milestones that occurred in my short life. First, there's April 4th, which marks the day we lost our Prince of Peace, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. He was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee, 50 years ago this April. November 2018 marks my 50th wedding anniversary with my wife Hattie. And December 2018 will mark the 50th anniversary officially finding our nonprofit organization Kids in Trouble and hosting our first Christmas toy party for needy children in December. From 1968 to 2013, we hosted 45 straight years of toy parties without grants or loans. The longest ongoing community toy parties benefiting thousands of kids in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. During those 50 years, we have witnessed the election of the first black president, Barack Obama, and now a youth march on Washington, D.C., organized by the Youth of America in protest of gun violence. This march is similar to, but larger than, the March on Washington organized by the Reverend Martin Luther King in 1963. This brings to mind an African American coal miner and labor organizer, Angelo Herdon. He was only 19 years old when he was arrested and convicted of insurrection after attempting to organize black and white workers in 1932 in Atlanta, Georgia. Angelo was near the same age as the teenage protesters coming to town this weekend when he organized a march for the unemployed workers. He was subsequently arrested when Communist Party literature was found in his bedroom. He was sentenced to life in prison. His trial made only small headlines at first, but eventually an international campaign to free him emerged, thanks to the efforts of the Communist Party and of labor unions interested in protecting the right to organize in the South. Herdon was finally set free by the U.S. Supreme Court with the help of well-known leaders including C. Vann Woodward, Thurgood Marshall, A. Philip Randolph, and Whitney Seymour Sr. I am often asked, Harold, what is wrong with our children? And my response is, what's wrong with our children? All you need to do is look in the mirror. Our children did not come out of their mother's womb with an AK-45, selling drugs, wearing a KKK robe, and using the MF and N words. This is all learned behavior. I also ask, have you checked out television or the internet lately? This youth protest should remind us of the struggles of Angelo Herdon, while embracing renewed meaning and relevancy against gun violence. There have been 31 school shootings in the U.S. since Columbine in 1999. There were 13 people killed in that shooting. The rate of people killed by guns in the U.S. is 19 times higher than similar high-income countries in the world. In the last 30 years, since 1982, America has mourned at least 61 mass murders. There have been almost 150 school shootings in the United States since Sandy Hook in 2012, almost averaging one a week. Leading up to this student march, there was a shooting outside of D.C. at Great Mills High School in Lexington, Maryland. 2 students were shot and the shooter is dead. Wake up, everybody. Hopefully this poem provides a measure of the changing sameness and shameness in our history. For example, Mississippi burning, Ferguson, LA, Chicago, Charleston, Baltimore, DC, New York City, Charlotte, and the beat goes on as it relates to the war against people of color and children in America. The Angelo Herdon reference in this poem may sound familiar. It was written while he was in jail. And this is what he wrote, paraphrasing it now. This is for the kids who died, black and white, whether they were killed in the streets of Chicago by a cop's gun or in the halls and classrooms of Sandy Hook, Columbine, and Parkland by a classmate's gun. But kids have certainly died. There are good cops and bad cops. The good cops go along to get along. Their only problem? They lack courage. The old and rich will live on a while, as always, living in their gated communities, eating caviar and lining their pockets with gold, while letting little kids die. Kids have died in the swamps of Mississippi organizing sharecroppers. Kids have died in the orange groves of California just for telling others to organize and stick together. But kids have certainly died. While blacks, whites, Latinos, and Mexicans, all kinds of kids will die because they don't believe in stealing other people's ideas and making them their own while becoming wealthy, selfish, and dysfunctional. Or the Capitol Hill gun lobbyists who tells lies and bribe anybody and everybody at any cost. There are politicians on both sides of the aisle who are there to serve themselves and not the people. All the reasons why kids have died. The wise, of course, and the learned will pen fake news editorials in the papers, and the ladies and gents with doctor in front of their names, white and black, will live on pretending not to know or understand what is going on while our kids die. There will be surveys and written reports with words to smother the kids who die. And the sleazy courts and sleazy attorneys and the bribe-taking police and the blood-loving generals and the money-loving preachers will all raise their hands against the kids who will die, beating them with made-up laws and clubs and bayonets and bullets to frighten the kids who die. For the kids who will die are like iron in the blood of the people. And the old and rich don't want the people to taste the iron of the kids who died. They don't want the people to get wise to their own power, to believe in our youth of today, or even get together and listen to the kids who died. Maybe there will be a monument for them, except in our hearts. Maybe their bodies will be lost in the swamps or a prison grave or potter's field or jail where they're hung by their necks, and they will call it a suicide for the kids who die. But the day will come, you can be assured that it is coming for the kids who died with a living monument of love and joy and laughter. And black hands and white hands are joined together with a song that reaches the sky, the song of the life triumph for the kids who died. This show is dedicated to the kids who died and the brothers who ain't here, to include Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, John F. Kennedy, Thurgood Marshall, Luke Seymour, Jack Johnson, Angelo Herdon, Jackie Robinson, Dave Brown, Big House Gaines, Kurt Flood, Joe Lewis, Lou Stokes, Jesse Owens, Paul Robeson, Red Auerbach, John Brown, Harold McClinton, Earl Bell, Tillman O'Brien, Burt Sugar, and Muhammad Ali. This segment has been dedicated to the brothers who ain't here.
Thank you for our word. With the brothers who ain't here. This is for the brothers who ain't here. For the strong brothers missing in action. Mentally and physically. Somebody tell me what happened. Like my main man, Big Willie Grant, who was shot in the back by 2 New York City cops the day before his 21st birthday. And remember that dime store pimp, Smooth Black Daddy? He had 7 children by 6 different women. And the brother never got married. Yo, ain't 3 of his kids on crack? For Shaka Hannibal found strangled in his crib after coming home from a black knee enforcement. And from a man out of Riverspoon, remember Larry? Yes, he did. He worked his way through college, then he tried to marry some Caucasian woman. Too bad, she was the horse's daughter. So this is for the brothers who ain't here. For the strong brothers missing in action. For the brothers, that's right, the brothers who ain't here. The brothers who ain't here. For the brothers show. The brothers who ain't here. The brothers who ain't here. This is for the brothers who ain't here. For all the strong brothers who could have made a difference. I can scream until my voice disappears. Think until my head bursts. Write until my fingers fall off. Fight until I can't fight no more. But that would just make me sing. And I'm insane. That's right. Crazy as hell. Off my rocker, out of my mind. Just like those brothers who ain't here. Those money makers, those backbreakers, those no stuff takers, the city shakers and revolution makers. For the brothers who ain't around no more. The community protectors, devil rejectors, God reflectors, and the black women lovers. This is for the brothers who ain't here. The brothers who ain't here. For the brothers who ain't here. For the brothers who ain't here. Masses of our people are in the streets. They're fighting tit for tat, tooth for tooth, the eye for an eye and a life for a life. And knows what that's how it is, because it's the crime black people live for
Okay, this show has been dedicated to the kids who died, to the kids who will be marching in Washington, D.C., and to the brothers who ain't here. As I close out this segment, I want you to remember, as I always say, that every black face you see is not your brother, and every white face you see is not your enemy. Until next time, I'm Harold Bell, and you can color me gone.